7 people, including a pregnant woman, died in a bus accident on the highway that connects the two main cities of Colombia. The bus was carrying around 46 people. Visuals released by the state television showed a broken containment barrier with several policemen and brigade members carrying out rescue operations on a cliff next to the road. The authorities did not report on the possible causes of the incident. Iraq's top court has rejected an appeal filed by Iran-backed factions contesting the results of the country's parliamentary election, which were held in October. The lawsuit had been submitted by Hadi al-Ameri, who heads a pro-Iran coalition that lost seats in the October 10th vote. Final results announced by Iraq's Electoral Commission has confirmed that Shiite cleric Muqtada al-Sadr as the biggest winner in the vote. He secured 73 out of the parliament's 329 seats. Indirect talks between Iran and the United States on salvaging the 2015 Iran nuclear deal resumed, with Tehran focused on one side of the original bargain, lifting sanctions against it. Despite scant progress on reining in its atomic activities, this is the 8th round of talks. The 7th round of talks, the first under Iran's new hardline President Ibrahim Raisi, ended 10 days ago after adding some new Iranian demands to the working text. Western powers said progress was too slow and negotiations had weeks, not months, left before the 2015 deal becomes meaningless. In a forested area outside Ukraine's capital Kyiv, Ukrainian soldiers are undergoing training. The soldiers are training to include architects, researchers in their ranks as well. Visuals show the new recruits returning fire with replica Kalashnikovs as imitation smoke grenades explode around. Dozens of civilians have been joining Ukraine's army reserves in recent months as fears mounted that Russia, which Kyiv says massed around 100,000 troops on its side of the border, is plotting to launch a large-scale attack. The 4th plenary meeting of the Central Committee of the Workers' Party of Korea was convened in the presence of North Korean leader Kim Jong-un. It's a forum he has previously used to make major New Year policy announcements. The gathering of party and government officials comes as North Korea grapples with compounding economic crises caused by the pandemic lockdowns, international sanctions over its nuclear weapons program, and natural disasters. It also comes as North Korea marks the 10th anniversary of Kim assuming supreme command of the military after the death of his father Kim Jong-il in 2011. A SOYUZ rocket carrying 36 OneWeb satellites launched from the Baikonur Cosmodrome in Kazakhstan. The satellites will be part of the UK-based network space constellation, providing global internet access. It was the 3rd time this year that OneWeb satellites were launched into space from Baikonur. Another 5 missions took off from the Vostochny Cosmodrome in Russia in 2021. OneWeb worked in partnership with Arianespace on the launches. Around 20 members of Afghanistan Women's Political Participation Network protested in a closed area in Kabul. The protesters demanded the country's new Taliban leadership for education, work and political participation. Protesters chanted slogans such as "Elimination of women, elimination of human beings." Taliban leaders have sought to project a more moderate image in recent months. However, Afghan girls are not allowed to attend schools after 6th grade in many provinces. Meanwhile, the international community is working on ways to help the schools that are open while encouraging the Taliban to open the rest. The Nicaraguan government seized the former embassy and diplomatic offices of Taiwan, saying they belong to China. President Daniel Ortega's government broke off relations with Taiwan this month, saying it would recognize only the mainland government. Before departing, Taiwanese diplomats attempted to donate the properties to the Roman Catholic Archdiocese of Managua, but Ortega's government said that any such donation would be invalid and that the building in an upscale Managua neighborhood belongs to China. Dakar's new regional express train has begun operating in Senegal. It was launched by the president to modernize transport. The project cost more than $1.1 billion, aims to limit massive traffic jams in the West African metropolis. Former Archbishop Desmond Tutu's funeral will be restricted to 100 mourners due to coronavirus restrictions in South Africa. Key memorials in South Africa have been observing the demise of the anti-apartheid icon who had died aged 90. South African President Cyril Ramaphosa visited the Tutu family home in Soweto to pay his respects to the Archbishop Desmond Tutu's family. Tutu is survived by his wife of 66, Leah, and their 4 children. Tutu died on Sunday at the age of 90 years at the Oasis Frail Care Centre in Cape Town. His body will lie in state at the Cathedral in Cape Town before a requiem mass later this week. In addition, a universal service will be held for Tutu on Wednesday in South Africa's capital. A bird flu outbreak killed more than 2,000 wild cranes on a reserve in northern Israel, which is said to be an unusually high toll for the seasonal flu. In addition to the 2,000 dead, another 10,000 believed to be infected by the avian flu H5N1 has been detected in some chicken population in northern Israel, as per Israel's Agriculture Ministry. The ministry has suspended egg sales from affected farms. The virus affects Israel annually, but this year's outbreak is reportedly much larger than previous years. It is rare for H5N1 to spread among humans, but there have been past outbreaks.
Mostly coming from Turkey and Iran to spend the winter here.
Gaza's sole power plant, Palestine Electric Company in central Gaza Strip, will switch from diesel to gas. Qatar has said it will finance the construction of the first gas line to power the plant as it switches from diesel fuel. The cost of the conversion is approximately $60 million. The company hopes the move will enable it to provide more power to the people, especially in winters. A large fire has been ravaging Argentina's Patagonia region for several weeks now. The Argentine government has reinforced the teams to fight the wildfires in several active locations. Fires remain active with a radius about 500 kilometers in the region. The fire is rampant around the Lago Martin and Stefan areas. The changing wind conditions have complicated the task of extinguishing the fire that has been expanding in recent hours. According to officials, around 2,000 people could be forced to evacuate. A special crisis committee has been created that combines the ministries of the Environment, Defense, Security and the Interior to address the situation urgently. At least 20 people died in northeastern Bahia region of Brazil after 2 dams were damaged in weeks of heavy rain. The flooded region has already seen thousands of people flee from their homes. The city government has posted warnings on social media urging people to seek safety. The Bahia state government's press conference office said that more than 16,000 people are homeless, nearly 19,000 displaced and 2 people missing as a result of the flooding. Emergency units shovel ash from buildings which were covered during the months-long eruption of a volcano on the Spanish island of La Palma. The volcanic eruption destroyed hundreds of homes and large swathes of farmland in a span of 3 months. However, the government officials have declared the Canaries volcano eruption is finally over. The announcement follows 10 days of low-level activity from the Cumbavia volcano. No injuries or deaths have been directly linked to the eruption, which began on the 19th of September, but it destroyed 1,300 homes, which were mainly on the western side of La Palma. Arctic winds have blanketed western Canada and freezing temperatures with the wind chill as low as minus 55 degrees centigrade. All of the province of Alberta was under an extreme cold weather warning, along with most of British Columbia, according to the Environment Canada. Low temperatures are expected to last into the next week. It was cold enough that ski slopes rattled in Edmonton. Meanwhile, in Vancouver, in British Columbia, families took out their sleds to take advantage of the snowfall. Heavy snow caused delays and cancellations at Seattle's Tacoma International Airport in the U.S. state of Washington as ice was removed from planes. Thousands of people braved freezing temperatures outside a vaccination center in the Croatian capital of Zagreb to receive their third or booster vaccination against COVID-19. Since the country reported its first Omicron cases in early December, large numbers have turned up. The demand has reportedly been greater than supply. Greece is extending a mandate making the wearing of masks in certain settings mandatory. Health Minister announced that the measure would continue until 16th of January next year. The general mask mandate for outdoor and all public areas was meant to last until 3rd of January. Entertainment venues would have to close by midnight. Standing customers would not be allowed and only up to 6 people would be allowed to share a table. In sporting stadiums, admissions would be limited to 10% of the general capacity with a cap on 1,000 to 2,000 spectators. Violations would result in events being held behind closed doors. Greece confirmed more than 9,000 new coronavirus infections in the last 24 hours. Its public health service is already under pressure in an intensive care space at more than 90% capacity.